Do you
We'll
think
see.
do you think he'll add to your legacy, the fight with
Yeah, a
Crawford?
lot. He's a really good fighter. 2 times undisputed champion. He accomplished so much. So can add a lot to my career.
Canelo Alvarez sees his fight against Terence Crawford as the biggest moment of his career.
No question, you've been involved in some massive fights in your career, the GGG trilogy. Is Crawford the biggest fight because of everything around it, everyone around it, the fact that it might be on Netflix, we're hearing, as a part of a big deal with TKO?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be bigger. Even the Mayweather fight is gonna be bigger.
With 6 months still left, the excitement around this massive fight is only growing. Canelo, known as one of the best fighters of his time, believes this bout is the most important of his career. He has battled elite opponents before, like Gennady Golovkin and Floyd Mayweather, but he sees Crawford as his toughest test yet. His 2013 showdown with Mayweather was legendary, racking up 2.2 million pay-per-view buys and making over $150 million. But despite that, Canelo feels his fight with Crawford will be even bigger. He's confident this match will outshine the Mayweather fight, proving just how much this challenge means to him.
Question, you've been involved in some massive fights in your career, the GGG trilogy. Is Crawford the biggest fight because of everything around it, everyone around it, the fact that it might be on Netflix, we're hearing, as a part of a big deal with TKO?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be bigger. Even the Mayweather fight is gonna be bigger than that.
You think it does more pay-per-view buys than the Mayweather fight?
Yeah, I think so.
The contrast in styles between these two fighters makes this fight even more exciting. Canelo, the undisputed super middleweight champion, is known for his accuracy, power, and dominance at 168 lbs. Meanwhile, Crawford is praised for his speed, versatility, and sharp boxing mind. Though he has mostly fought in lower weight divisions, he has successfully climbed the ranks, most recently winning a title at super welterweight. This fight isn't just about skill, it's a test to see if Crawford's speed and technique can overcome Canelo's power and experience in the heavier division.
It's a good fight because Crawford's very smart. We saw what Floyd did to Canelo, so Crawford's got the IQ to do that.
Before a potential clash with Crawford, Canelo has another big fight on his hands. On May 3rd, he'll take on William Skull in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, defending his undisputed super middleweight title. While many fans are already looking past this fight and focusing on Crawford, Canelo isn't making that mistake. He's been clear that his only focus right now is on Skull, and any talk about Crawford will have to wait. He's fully committed to his training, staying locked in on May 3rd, and not letting any outside noise interfere with his preparation.
This is May, no, and I don't see other fight there. So I'm focused 100% on William Skull because he's a good fighter. He's champion for a reason, and I need to beat him first to see other fights, right? My focus is on him 100%, and then we see.
Canelo's stance on fighting Crawford has changed a lot in recent months. Initially, he dismissed the idea, seeing it as a no-win situation. If he won, critics would claim Crawford was too small for the division. If he lost, people would question if he could handle a smaller, faster opponent. But as the hype around the fight grew, Canelo started looking at it differently. He realized just how much fans wanted to see it, and that made him reconsider. Now he acknowledges that the fight is a real possibility, but he's standing firm, that no decision will be made until after his May fight.
If you beat him, he's too small. If he beats you, you got beat by a small man. What changed to possibly have you entertain that fight?
You know, I can see people want to see that fight too. So I think it's starting making sense, and it's a possibility there.
Yeah.
So we'll see after.
Crawford has also had a change of heart about this fight. Before his dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. in July 2023, he dismissed the idea of moving up to 168 lbs, thinking it was too big of a jump. At the time, he made it clear that super middleweight wasn't in his plans, but after stepping up in weight and claiming the WBA super welterweight title against Israel Madrimov, he's now open to the challenge. Unlike some fighters moving up, Crawford has no issue with a rehydration clause. His trainer, Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, has stated they're fully prepared, brushing off concerns about Canelo's size advantage. They're confident in Crawford's skills and have made it clear they're ready to fight under normal conditions.
Well, listen. I told my boy Jazz, I already caught the biggest fish in Texas. About to get out here and get it in. I see the water. I know who the #1 fisherman is. Even big fish get caught.
If everything goes according to plan, the fight is set for September 13th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, a ICE venue worthy of such a massive showdown. Both fighters are at the peak of their careers, making the timing perfect for a fight of this scale. Canelo remains the biggest name in boxing, while Crawford continues to prove himself as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters of his generation. But beyond the excitement, this fight carries historical weight. If Crawford wins, he'll become the first fighter ever to be an undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes. For Canelo, a victory would further solidify his legacy, proving that he can defeat an elite opponent like Crawford, even with the risks that come with facing a naturally smaller fighter.
William who? Canelo versus William Stoll. William who?
Oscar being back in New York over here.
No, let's just say Canelo Crawford, in the history of boxing, and this is the facts.
Let's get it.
If you see Thursdays, Thursdays, I speak the facts. All right, I'll even do it for you. A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game, unless you go back to certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, this is the truth again. It's a money grab. That's it.
The debate over a potential fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford has sparked mixed reactions from boxing experts and former fighters. Some believe Canelo's power and size would be too much for Crawford, while others argue that Crawford's technical brilliance could help him overcome the physical disadvantage. Joel Diaz is among those who completely dismiss the idea that Crawford could easily beat Canelo, calling anyone who thinks otherwise stupid. He highlights the significant size difference, insisting that Canelo's sheer power would be the deciding factor. While Diaz respects Crawford's skill, he doesn't believe he has the durability of a true super middleweight. He points to Crawford's big jump in weight classes, from 147 lbs to 154 lbs, and now potentially 168 lbs, warning that carrying extra weight could slow him down. In Diaz's opinion, no matter how skilled Crawford is, he would struggle against Canelo's raw strength.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that. I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
Adonis Wilkins shares a similar opinion, believing that weight will be a crucial factor in this fight. While he acknowledges Crawford's elite skill, he argues that moving up to 168 lbs could slow him down and affect his overall performance. According to Wilkins, the added weight would make it harder for Crawford to generate power compared to Canelo, who is already proven at super middleweight. He compares this fight to Canelo's bout against Caleb Plant, noting that Plant started strong but eventually wore down. Wilkins predicts a similar outcome for Crawford, expecting him to fade in the later rounds, giving Canelo the chance to take control and finish the fight by the 10th round.
No, it's going to be at 68.
That's a bad look for Crawford. I love Crawford, dog. I think he's real talented, but we see him at 154 going up in weight class, and he kind of struggled. He didn't struggle, but that weight was definitely a difference. To go up another 2 weight classes after that, we're going to see a lot slower Terence Crawford. Yeah, his boxing ability is there, but Crawford don't hit like Canelo. Canelo's coming down for that fight. It's gonna be rough. So I'm gonna give it to Canelo. Love Crawford, but I'm gonna give it to Canelo.
Jim Lampley is also skeptical about Crawford's chances against a physically dominant fighter like Canelo. He points to Crawford's performance against Israel Madrimov as proof that he may not be suited for higher weight classes. While Lampley acknowledges Crawford's incredible boxing ability, he stresses that weight divisions exist for a reason. He believes moving up to 168 lbs could take away some of Crawford's strengths, making it harder for him to execute his usual game plan. Lampley also questions whether Crawford can handle the constant physical pressure that Canelo would apply, suggesting that the weight difference could ultimately determine.
What do you think about the fight now that you just witnessed Canelo Alvarez again in a masterclass performance?
I love Terence Crawford, and I want him to have what he wants. But off of what I saw tonight and what I saw in Los Angeles last month when Crawford was fighting Madrimov, I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough, and not big enough to be able to move around the ring and muscle Canelo in the way that he would have to ward off those really vicious inside power shots. I might have thought a few months ago that I would give Crawford a logical chance to win the fight.
Amir Khan, who has faced both fighters in the ring, believes that while Crawford is an exceptional boxer, skill alone won't be enough to overcome the challenge of fighting at super middleweight. He points out that Canelo has sharpened his game significantly over the years, especially since their fight. While some critics claim Canelo is past his prime, Khan completely disagrees. He insists that the Mexican star is still a dominant force and would be a serious challenge for Crawford, regardless of the weight difference.
Remember, Crawford then is a big boy as well. Crawford's a big guy when it comes to a box fight. Yeah,
So you think?
I think Crawford, in my opinion, but size might matter. But then again, I think since I fought Canelo's become a better boxer. He started boxing more better.
Technically.
You know what I mean? Technical more. Especially against the last fight against Mangui. He boxed really well as well. And he's looking really good. He's still, a lot of people might say, oh, he's getting old, this, that, another. But no, Canelo's still a beast.
Lopez takes a more measured stance, urging both fighters to focus on their current opponents before thinking about a future showdown. He reminds fans that boxing is unpredictable, and a fighter's legacy often depends on their latest performance. Lopez stresses that before making any assumptions, it's important to see how both Canelo and Crawford perform in their upcoming fights. While he acknowledges that both are elite fighters, he believes timing and preparation will be the key factors in deciding the outcome of such a high-stakes battle.
That's what it's been talking about. They've been talking about it. I mean, listen, they just gotta win their fights first, and then we'll see what happens then. You know what I mean? If they're gonna fight before they fight each other, I think that's the smartest thing for both parties. And then we see how they look, and we'll go from there. Because nowadays, in the modern day era, you're only as good as your last fight.
Danny Garcia also weighs in, recognizing the huge excitement this fight would generate among boxing fans. He respects both fighters' skills but sees Canelo's size at 168 lbs as a serious challenge for Crawford. Garcia points to Canelo's power and physicality, explaining that they make him a dangerous opponent for anyone in that division. While he expects a competitive and thrilling fight, he leans toward Canelo as the favorite due to his experience and...
At the end of the day, they're two great pound fighters, and if they feel like, it makes sense and they want to fight each other, stylistically, it's a great fight. But, Canelo, he's a big dude. And I think it'd be hard for anyone to beat him at 168. But, it's definitely a big money fight, and that's why we're all involved.
Keith Thurman takes a slightly different angle, acknowledging that Crawford has a shot at an upset, but only if he prepares to absolute perfection. Thurman believes Crawford must train at the highest level, possibly at high altitudes, and leave no stone unturned in his camp. He also highlights the need for mental strength, saying Crawford must visualize victory and have a clear strategy for handling Canelo's counterpunches. However, Thurman questions whether Crawford can keep his speed at 168 lbs or if the extra weight will slow him down. While he sees a path for Crawford to win, he remains wary of the physical edge that Canelo would bring to the fight.
I don't want to say it's impossible for my boy Crawford, but it's one of those things where if he really wants to win against Canelo, he's going to need to do everything. You know, you're going to need to run uphill. You're going to need to train in high altitude. You're going to need to do every little thing that gives you that, you know, athletic edge and lots of pre-fight meditate. You know, you got to see victory before the victory manifests. You know, whether I'm going to set the trap, he's going to want to counter me, and so I'm going to counter his counter. I don't want to say it's impossible for my boy Crawford, but it's one of those things where it needs to be planned out, trained out, and methodically, you know, delivered on a fight night. And then the other thing is how athletic is he going to move with the extra weight on top of him? So, you know, like I said, it's just very important to train, to have the best camp that you can have, the high altitude, get all that oxygen, and just use all those little biohacking things to your advantage, to make an upset. I mean, you're going to go home a winner. You've done great things in boxing, Crawford, that is, Canelo too. They both get to be winners at the end of the day. They both get to be legends at the end of the day. But, you know, if Crawford wants to be just something that can never really be compared to, I mean, Floyd beat Canelo, but we know what Canelo Floyd beat. He beat young Canelo. He beat that not really ready for the big boys Canelo. If Crawford beats Canelo, he beat big boy Canelo.
Sean Porter believes Canelo's size and experience will be major factors in this fight. While he acknowledges that Crawford has the advantage in height and reach, which could help him tactically, he thinks Canelo's experience against elite opponents will be the real game changer. Porter sees this as a true test for both fighters, but ultimately, he favors Canelo because of his power and ring experience. He also points out that the timing for this fight couldn't be better, as Canelo is running out of big-name opponents, making Crawford the perfect next challenge.
Another big weight discrepancy. What do you think of that? Does the weight play a factor there?
I just said it,
yeah.
You know? And Terence is already taller than him, you know,
yeah.
Has the reach, you know? I'm telling y'all, that's a 50-50 fight.
Okay.
That's a 50-50 fight.
Yeah.
It's actually perfect timing for both guys.
Yeah.
Canelo Alvarez is losing big name fighters to fight against.
Yeah.
There's really no one else with a big name for him to fight against.
Yeah.
Benavidez deserves that.
The timing for this fight couldn't be better, as Canelo is running out of big-name opponents, making Crawford the perfect next challenge. While many experts favor Canelo due to his size, others believe Crawford's unique skill set could give him the edge. Teddy Atlas is one of Crawford's biggest supporters, arguing that technical ability matters more than physical attributes. He praises Crawford's sharp boxing IQ, his ability to stay calm under pressure, and his knack for adjusting mid-fight. According to Atlas, Crawford's intelligence in the ring is a bigger factor than any concerns about weight. He believes the fight will come down to strategy and composure, and in his view, Crawford's ability to make adjustments on the fly gives him a real shot at beating Canelo.
I look at Crawford as one of those special guys. I don't care if you guys are tired of me saying it. I look at him, look, Canelo's special too. I get it. And he's bigger. I get that too. And if everyone's going to say, well, after Madrimov fight again, had a couple hiccups, now he's stepping up another weight class. Now he's got to fight Canelo, who's even bigger, stronger, better puncher, a unified champion that he's been, all of that stuff. He's not going to be able to.
Shakur Stevenson shares a similar belief in Crawford's ability to step up to the challenge. While he acknowledges the difficulty of facing Canelo's power and size, Stevenson has full confidence in Crawford's skills. He sees Crawford's boxing IQ and adaptability as his biggest weapons, ones that could help him find a way to win. Stevenson admits that Canelo is a dangerous opponent, but if there's anyone capable of figuring out how to beat him,
Canelo got the IQ, he got the size, he got the power, maybe. It's a very difficult fight, but I think if anybody could get it done, it's Terence Crawford.
Frank Warren, meanwhile, focuses on the promotional side, calling this fight a massive event for boxing fans. He believes that with the right marketing, it could become one of the biggest fights in recent history. Warren sees it as a prime opportunity to showcase two of the best fighters in the world and bring boxing into the mainstream spotlight.
Or story from the ring, which of course is owned by Turki Al-Sheikh, states that on September 13th, they are going to in fact do Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Are you surprised that they got this over the line, that it appears to be a done deal for Las Vegas's Allegiant Stadium?
Look, if it's done, I mean, as a boxing fan, I can't wait to see that fight. It's a fabulous fight. If anyone can get it done, His Excellency is the man, and he's been a massive fan of both those guys. And I know when we sit down and talk about up and coming shows, that's one he's always wanted. He's always said he'd love to see, and I'm pretty positive that it will happen. And fingers crossed, they get that over the line, because what a fight that'll be between those two, and a great fight for American boxing.
Yeah. Dmitry Bivol, who previously defeated Canelo, takes a more neutral stance on the fight. He recognizes Crawford's technical skills but emphasizes the significance of weight classes in boxing. Bivol believes that while Crawford's talent gives him a fighting chance, stepping up to 168 lbs will be a serious challenge. However, he doesn't completely count Crawford out, stating that if he executes a flawless game plan, an upset victory is still possible.
I remember when I came to the boxing gym, one of the first lessons which I should learn, it's like you should respect weight classes. What it means. But Terence Crawford now is one of the favorite fighters, active fighters. I mean, he has good skills, very good skills. Maybe he could.
Jose Benavidez Jr. is one of Crawford's strongest supporters, arguing that many people are underestimating his chances. While he acknowledges Canelo's size and power, he highlights Crawford's strategic mind and adaptability. Benavidez believes Crawford's ability to switch stances and adjust his tactics mid-fight will be a key game changer. He's confident that Crawford will come in with a smart, well-prepared plan to expose Canelo's weaknesses, making...
A lot of people are counting Crawford out. Crawford's he's smart, he knows what he's doing. Canelo, he's not that big of a guy. He obviously weighs more, but you can't take nothing from Crawford. He goes in there to win. So I feel like it'd be a good fight. It sucks that my brother didn't get the opportunity, but only Canelo knows why it didn't happen. And you just gotta keep moving forward. Gotta keep moving forward. But it's gonna be a good fight to watch. I got Crawford on this one. The thing with him, he adjusts. He's a smart motherfucker. He adjusts. He's not only does he switch from southpaw to orthodox, but he's just a smart. He has a high IQ in boxing, and that's what I feel like. All these fighters that go in there to fight Canelo, they already go in there scared, is what I believe. That which already beats him. So Crawford's gonna go in there to fuck. Not gonna go in there to fucking. So I have it going Crawford.
So what do you think about this fight? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and check out more of our content on the screen right now.